Hi YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to the Dice of Our Toy Review. Today, once again, we're going to be taking a look at 3 Waterbird toys, but this time in the theme of the Flip Out Origami British Wildlife Collection toy range. And I think I've done it before though, to be quite obviously honest. But yes, in this video, yes, I'm just going to go ahead and show you these toys like this. In fact, they're basically new ones, of course. In fact, I've got a Rag and Bowman van in the way though, so that's why I will be like any old iron, scrap iron. Anyways, with that aside, sorry if I'm being a bit too cool though, I might as well just move away this tin London Boss with stationery, of course. There you go, these are the products I might show you in this video. Okay, so I wonder which one I might take a look at first. This one here. Flip Out Origami British Wildlife Collection. It's a £2.99 toy. In fact, there's another one that costs in the same price. It's a Canada Geese Adult Feeding Duette and Pursuit with Brown Rat 5-pack. Here's the back of the packaging, which looks like that. Almost looks like this rat looks a little bit like Rattata from Pokemon. Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Sorry, I don't know about you, but I just got that joke from Ashens. You know that YouTuber who's actually into tat and also into loot crates and stuff? And of course, yes, let me just go ahead and unpack this and see what it's all about. I think I've done a video like this before on Sunday. I covered a very similar product like this, and here you go, there's the rat. It seems like we haven't had that much rats so during 2022. I don't know about you, but it seems to be quite very weird. I was going to rhyme that at first glance, eh? Okay, so yes, it is a rat, going by the buck teeth at the front. Yes, it looks very generic though. It looks like more of a generic rat, rather than a little bit like a clone of Rattata from Pokemon. And yes, it is true. Of course, yes, what I'm actually saying is that the thing that is true is, yes, bread is bad for birds, especially ducks, geese, swans, coots, moorhens, whatever. There's so many birds that you can probably name. Even herons would probably find it very difficult to consume bread as a delicacy. Not so much for seagulls, but I definitely think bread is bad for birds, of course. And you know what happens when you put bread in the water? Guess which guys are attracted by bread? The rats! Yes! Now that's exactly what I mean, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. The rats will come in and eat the bread once the birds have done it. Or, well, I don't know about you, but I can tell you what, guys, don't suggest pretty much getting bread as bird food or feeding the birds bread. Try and feed something else, or else the rats will come in and nick off the bread and spread diseases. So potentially. Alright, let's take a look at the Canadian geese. There is something a bit missing and a bit off though with the Canadian geese. When I did other Canadian geese products, there's actually something which is a bit missing, and I do know that there's actually something missing, and there's like a black patch on the back of the goose which is missing in action, but it's now just replaced with just a stock standard fully brown sort of detailing. I mean, come on. But anyways, it does represent to us that detailing costs money in the toy realm. No matter how sloppily done or lavishly done it is, that's what you call a toy though. I mean, as soon as a toy has got a lot of detailing, it does cost a lot of money, and that has been one of the biggest conundrums that happens to us though. And whenever I think of buy really, really cool and very legitimately, very nicely done and lavishly finished off toys, in the sense that, you know, yeah, obviously, and there's actually a bit of a difference going on here. You actually realise the Canadian geese actually come in 2 different eye colours. So the one on the bottom has got a much lighter sort of reddish brownish sort of other colorization here, whereas the one on the top has got a bit of a very weird darkish chocolatey sort of brownish colour on the eyes though. But hey, yes, it's quite a nice set. And of course, yes, I should make products with bread and rats, because obviously, yes, oh yes, I actually thought of making some seagull themed products, mashed up with bread and also with rats, because obviously, if you ever feed birds with bread, then the rats will come in and join in. Okay, the next product, which costs about £2.99, it's called the Great Crested Grebe Weed Dance. without being too explicit here. Yes, courtship display. And plastic bag handover ritual fire bag. I never knew that these guys would probably handle something that is quite deadly to the environment. Of course, yes, we are talking about being environmental friendly, or should I say, being unenvironmentally friendly. Alright, we'll just go ahead and unpack this. Oh, look at the great crested grebes, they're courtshiping. Alright, without being too adorable here, I think that's what we've got in this set. It would have been so much better. Obviously now I would have preferred it in a smaller packet, but who cares. But anyways, let's take a look at the great crested grebes. That's what they all look like. There's the name on the bottom here, and of course, yes, it's very worthy to note that these guys, I've made those guys before, I suppose, eh? And there's the other side here as well. Got those very pointy, pinkish-looking beaks. Although there is a very huge debate, though, that either great crested grebes have pink beaks, or there's like other people saying, "Oh, but Ivan, great crested grebes also have slightest greyish beaks." Yes, I have seen great crested grebes with both pink and, you know, greyish, darkish, slightish beaks and all that stuff, but, hey, who cares? I mean, how much do I care? Zip all. I don't know. But, anyways, these guys look fairly fantastic. Of course, yes, these guys are pretty common, though. Well, actually, I'll just say relatively common, actually, because thanks to conservation efforts, these guys used to be, in terms of birding history, well, they used to be exploited and put upon for the fact that their feathers was the main prize, and it would have been used for hats, handbags, and other stuff, to be made as wearable things, that the great crested grebe was sadly going in such peril, as it did suffer a lot of trembling stories, like, you know, it was nearly close to extinction. But anyways, this bird is very well known to courtship with, is that pondweed? Or is it duckweed? Or is it seaweed? I have no idea what these are. It's got a very strange looking design here. If you're, you know, thinking of plants and stuff like that, I know. I don't think that, you know, it's actually quite a very abstract looking design. But nevertheless, it looks fairly nice seeing those two. And you've also got a plastic bag. Now you might be thinking, "Oh, but Ivan, a plastic bag can cause such environmental danger to the wildlife around us." Well, it's not always the case. There's a program called Duette's How to Watch Wildlife, and there's this very interesting clip that I found on the BBC website. Might as well have a link down below there as well, because obviously it's a very worth a while sort of video to watch though, because obviously I know that video is quite short. Sorry, the camera's gonna be in a bit of an iffy sort of mode. What's going on? I don't know how much focus is going on, but who cares? Of course, there's a plastic bag here, and what actually surprised me was that not just one, but two great crested grebes in their courtshipping breeding form used plastic bags as something very fantastic. And it's what I call plastic fantastic, even if plastic is very deadly to all water life, even the sea, of course. Yes, I've actually noticed that great crested grebes can even find plastic bags as nesting material, or something as like a little toy to courtship and dance with it. That's actually just fantastic. And you might be thinking, "Oh, but Ivan, that is such a very dire and very serious and very cruel sort of, you know, sight to see." Well, it's actually not that cruel though, because obviously, you know, not everything plastic baggy related or anything and unenvironmentally friendly material-wise isn't always that bad, but yes. Yes, that's a very nice clip in Hampstead Heath, Plastic Fantastic, from Bill Oddie's How to Watch Wildlife. It's quite amazing watching that program via the BBC. It's amazing. Go ahead and watch that little clip and see why these great crested grebes handle a plastic bag and, you know, use it as to pretty much courtship it and as some kind of very weird display. And see it for yourself. And because it's a plastic bag, you can basically put things in there. It's just an abandoned plastic bag, of course, yes. It's just a replica model of it, made out of paper. But yes, plastic bags are bad for the environment. That could pretty much make every animal suffocated in the water or under the water. But that's not always the case when it comes to the great crested grebe using it as some kind of plastic tool. Or maybe other water birds using plastic bags as nesting material, particularly swans. And speaking of swans, here's our last product to look at. It's a flip out Origami British World Collection. Canadian Geese or Canada Geese Trio versus Mute Swan Swimming and Red Bull 12 pack. It costs about £15. The back of the packaging looks like that. It looks like we've got some kind of threatened swan. How would you say it? Deterring a Canadian geese who is after its bread. Delicacy, of course, yes, as I said before, bread is bad for birds. And that's why this one gets very aggressive over bread. And yes, not only bread attracts rats, but it also makes the birds overly competitive and aggressive towards each other because all they're doing is eating the bread to themselves. And that's what I call myself greed. Or should I say the nature is literally called greed and selfishness. Out they come. Of course, yes, it's quite crazy. We've got about... Well, it is pointless just to see... I mean, why are we getting so much bread for the geese and the swans and the ducks and the seagulls and any other birds like coots and moorhens? 6 pieces of bread. I mean, do we really want to see both sides of the bread? I mean, of course we could, but I don't know how long we could actually show you the rest of this whole video. You know, actually think back to those... Oh yes, pigeons as well. You know these pigeon products I've made back then in 2020, and that bread's gone a bit floppy though, hey? And of course, yes, back in 2020, when I did the Flip Out toy reviews with Flapping Birds and, you know, the silent toy reviews I did in September, that was actually quite memorable. And I might look forward to do those, hopefully by, you know, the first day of September, or I don't know. I might try and plan that via September 2022, you know, on the first day of September, and maybe do like a combination of being silent and also talkative. And I've also got, like, you know, royalty-free music that I might put up as well via YouTube. That will also be something I might look forward to. But yes, bread is bad for birds, so pointless. I will put the bread back away though, but let me just take a look at the swans first. Of course, yes, the swans look fairly different. Now understand that the eyes in previous models, you may have actually realised that the older swan models have a bit, you know, they've actually got a bit of a sort of a beanie. I think they've got like an American football sort of shaped sort of eye design, like, you know, to make them a lot more feminist. But nevertheless, they're just replaced with just bland, round eyes. You know, very circular eyes. And guess what it says on the bottom? Mute swan. Yes, these guys are pretty much the largest birds, the largest flying birds in the world, actually, because obviously the ostrich takes #1 in this spot for being the largest bird in the world, but the mute swan, obviously the largest flying bird in the world. And just because it's a swan, here's a bit of a very big misconception here. If you're looking at a swan, don't expect it to be all plain white, because obviously not all swans will have a pure white colorization. I mean, I've seen black swans, which are kind of a very different species. Of course, the Australian ones, I'll try and make some black swans, hopefully. I will. This one here is another mute swan. By the looks of it, it looks pretty awesome. I haven't made a lot of mute swan themed products, so I better make them a lot though, because obviously, whoever wants a swan in your life? Well, I should do. Swan I want to play. And of course, yes, I have. Yes, whenever I think of swans, you know, since last July, and especially the hottest day of the year, yes, of course, I do remember that. I do know there is one particular event I really do know of, like, you know, the swan upping event that takes place in London every July, where the swans and the cycnids are reunited with each other. And there's like a person there, and there's actually quite a lot of people who often, like, you know, up the swans, or mark the swans, though. And it's also like to do with conservation efforts, but it's also for the fact that whenever I think of Britain and swans, particularly of London for that matter, most, if not all of the swans are owned by the Queen. Would you know about that? They're all protected by law because of their association by the Queen, so it's illegal to assassinate and annihilate all of these guys, or one of these guys, actually. And let's move on to the Canadian Geese, which for some reason, only 2 have got a bit of black detailing on the back. But if I take a look at the other one, this one here, uh-oh, doesn't seem to have that detailing right at the back. But nevertheless, Canadian Geese, pretty much a mundane sort of bird, of course, but there's also something very weird. The one in the middle also seems like it's got a bit of a chestnutty, reddish-brownish looking eye colorization here, and isn't it when a Canadian Geese has taken a dive? Whereas the other 2, they've got dark chocolate brown sort of eyes. I never knew that that colorization was around. And another thing was, dun dun dun! Oh no! I forgot to add the detailing on this goose! Crikeys! What have I done? I've lost so much time, and I need to probably refill the detailings again because of my stupidness of neglecting the toys to be nicely done. So, my bad indeed. I might as well just have to find out where the other brown, I don't know what it is, but I'm just trying to find, you know, the actual brown pencil that I might be using it to colour in my geese. Oh dear, this video has gone off the rails though. I feel like I'm causing a bit of confusion and delay here. I don't see, oh, actually, there it is. I mean, what's up with toys being, you know, not so detailed? And as I said earlier before, detailing costs money in the toy realm, which is sad to know, but that's very important because obviously the more detailing on a toy, the more expensive it becomes. But just because a toy is fully detailed, if I might grab the other Canadian Geese product because I want to detail the other ones, which haven't got the black detailing, of course. Here you go. Oh, actually on the other side as well, it's missing that wing detailing. I mean, that is actually something I'd never noticed that. And of course, yes, yes. I mean, just because as I said before, as a toy is lavishly detailed doesn't mean it's going to last that long, like, you know, in terms of build quality. You know what I mean, hey? Because, you know, not all toys are built to last, which is very sad to know, but, you know, that's the sad factor of life, eh? I mean, we just can't, you know, expect toys to be always 100% good and last for a very long lasting time. And that's one of the big misconceptions I've been getting a lot so far, hey? But, hey, I can't expect too much from everyone, I suppose, hey? I mean, that's all I have to do now. There you go. I've got all of the Canadian Geese in the right colours. Hopefully I've got them all correct. And I'm just basically checking which ones came from each set. So I might as well put those 2, the one with the, how do you say it, chestnut reddish brownish eyes onto this product here, because I think that goes well with the bread and the rat product. And I suppose those 3, well, let's just say they're going to be part of the set there, hey? Those 3 there. I think I might as well just exchange Geese and put them into a different set. Well, tell you what guys, I think that's probably about it throughout the rest of this whole video, eh? So, that was very sloppy. I'm sorry about the whole, you know, I mean, detailing, of course, and all that stuff that was pretty much missing. I might get the swans, because obviously, you know, we should actually pretty much put the swans back to where they are, in the same product. Whooshka! And I can tell you what guys, those 3 products once again, I was going to say this right now, oh sorry I've got pencils around me, I tell you what, I'm very lazy at tidying up though, as sad as it sounds. Those products are done and dusted! So, with this whole Flip toy review completely and utterly done, if you really enjoyed it, please give this video a great big like, subscribe for more Flip videos in the future, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.